Hey everybody, I'm going to make a short video on laddering tips. I know laddering is tough. Some of the material I've given you kind of lays it out as if you have to proceed in a certain order. They ask way too many why questions, which causes people to think about things that they normally don't think about, so they kind of make up answers. Um, so I'll give you some other strategies for doing this. Just remember, laddering is a conversation. And the more you can get your subject to relax and tell you stuff, the more great information you're going to get. Now, I'm going to make a lot of mistakes in this short video because it's really impromptu, so I apologize in advance. So, here are some basic tips, right? You're doing something, interviewing people who are fanatics about your brand or perhaps have great interest in a product category. So they have something to say. They have stories. They have information. And again, it's a conversation. You have to get people to relax. It is not an interrogation. So if I'm, in my example, I'll use somebody, we're doing Nike's, cleats for different sports, or maybe it's soccer or lacrosse. And I might say, hey, I like Nikes a lot. I happen to have played lacrosse, and they were my favorite. What do you like about them? What do you like most about them? And so you just you can have a conversation. You can try to make them feel at ease. And you should tell them in advance, hey, you're going to record the audio. It's my stupid professor. He's making me do this for our project, and I really appreciate you helping me out. So the key in all of this is really active listening. And active listening means that you're paying attention to what the other person is saying, giving them cues, nodding your head, using your hands, making a few short little comments that show that you're interested in what they're saying is of value. And you try not to lead the subject into giving you the answer that you're looking for. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, but that's what you need to do. And again, you're collecting information, you're recording it on your voice memo if you have an iPhone. I think most people have an iPhone. So you don't have to worry about the order. Features, then benefits, then values. Just get it out of the person. All right? And sometimes getting the values for products that people may not think about how they help them, in a long term or in some kind of important emotional or psychological way, can be hard to get to, but they'll give you some tips as to what that might be. And perhaps the best way to get values is ask a person to describe a situation where that happened, or a potential situation where that could happen. So if I was on this hypothetical laddering interview, this depth interview, I might start off by saying, hey, I really appreciate it. I like Nikes too. I use them. How long have you been using Nikes? How long have you been playing lacrosse, soccer, or whatever the sport is? What do you like about it? Have you always worn Nikes? And the idea is just to kind of broach the subject, get the person thinking about Nike, get them for all those different feelings they might have and thoughts and experiences to kind of start to bubble up in their consciousness, and then build a little rapport with them. And, if they share a little story, you can share a little story of your own about using Nikes and everything. And then the next thing is to, at some point say, hey, well, what do you like most about your Nikes? What's most important to you? What's your favorite feature? All right. And then they're going to tell you something. Okay, well, I like them because they're light. All right, and you might say, yeah, they are light. How do they compare to some of the other shoes? Oh, well, Pumas and Adidas cleats, they're much heavier. And if it's lacrosse, Warrior probably makes some cleats, and they're nice, but they're too heavy. I like light cleats. I understand. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. What's important to you about having light cleats? I'm just trying to stay away from why. What does that do for you? Tell me more. I understand. Can you explain a little bit more? Well, they're light, so, I feel faster. I feel that I'm a better player, and so forth. And it just makes me feel more confident. And so he gave you a couple of different things, he or she, but it's me, so I guess I'm a he. He gave you a couple of things that you could work with. So You might say, okay, so they help you be a better player. Yes, I'm faster to the ball. I'm faster on my cuts when I dodge in lacrosse. I'm able to get by the defenseman easier because I know that, I just feel a lot faster. So it gives you a feeling that you're faster. Yes, exactly. And do you think that helps you play better? And I'm leading them a little bit, but you could say that. You don't want to say, well, why is that important? Because people sometimes get a little squirrely about that. And they might say, yeah, because the faster I go, the better I am. I'm not the fastest guy out there, so I needed all the help that I can get. Okay, I understand. I wasn't the fastest guy either. And there, you can lead up to some different types of values, and you can say, right, so tell me, how does it help you as a better player? Well, I'm faster. I can feel I can do a better job. It's important to me. I'm going to get more playing time. How does that make you feel when you get more playing time? I feel great. I'm able to help out the team, and that makes me feel good. And helping out the team, how does that help you? Well, that helps me because I'm going to play more, and my team is really important. I want to feel I can make a contribution to the team, and everything like that. So it's important. That's why I play team sports. I gotcha. So the Nike, because they're light, they help you play better, and that helps you be a better player, help your team, and helps you, be a better teammate. Is that fair to say? Yes. So it's okay to summarize, right? And then before you leave, how the weight of the cleats, you might say, do you have an example or a time where that happened? Can you tell me about it? Well, yeah, it happened earlier this year. I had my best game ever, and I just felt so quick on my feet and fast, and I don't think I would have done as well if I had a different pair of cleats. Have you ever tried different cleats? Yeah. Well, what would you do, or how would you feel if you went to a game and you didn't have your Nikes, the ones you wear? You forgot them, so you had to borrow a pair of another pair of cleats that somebody else had, and they fit fine, but they weren't Nikes. How would you feel? Well, I'd be really upset. Upset? Tell me more. I'm not going to ask why. Just tell me more. Can you explain? Well, they're important to me. I have a little thing I go through every time I put them on, a little ritual. They, helps me focus and get in my head that I'm going to play well. Okay, so you'd be missing that. So the Nikes are a big part of kind of who you are as a player. Yes, as like I said earlier, I've been wearing Nikes since third grade. I understand. They're real important to me also. So if I didn't have Nikes, I'd probably lose a lot of confidence. I wouldn't feel I'd be as effective, and I probably wouldn't be. Not that it really makes that big a difference, maybe not, but I would think it would, and I'd feel that way. So I doubt I'd play as well, and I wouldn't enjoy it as much. So, I know when I wear Nikes, I'm going to play my best. And, that will make me feel really good, and the more I can contribute to the team and do well, the better I'm going to feel. And so, of course, I'm interviewing myself. It's easy to get the values, but that's the kind of thing that you want to do, is ask them for example. Ask them, what if you didn't have your Nikes? Whatever you didn't have your product, if you didn't have that brand in an important situation, how would you feel? What would you do? All right? And so you're trying to dig at what it means to them, because those other products that they don't buy, they're not fanatics about, don't provide the same benefits, overall value in terms of what it means to them. And then, when you ask people about value, sometimes they get a little squirrely. They look at you like, duh, of course, I want to be a good player. I want to win. I want to play more. They or they get a little uncomfortable because they have to say something about themselves that maybe they didn't think they were going to have to say. They have to say something about their personality, what's important to them. And so, it's sometimes difficult to get to that. Try a few times, go back, started on a new one. Okay, so we know that the fact that Nikes are light is really important to you. What else do you really like about Nikes? And then you start the process again and just go through that. And you can tell a story. Yeah, I remember when I had my Nikes, it was really important to me because, my parents had never, paid a lot of money for any of my stuff, and I was a pretty good player. And when I finally got Nikes, it made me feel like my parents really appreciated me as a, me as a player, and that they were willing to, do what they can to help me reach my goals. I mean, I'm just making this stuff up, and I'm being easy, but that's the idea. Just kind of keep chewing away at them. Don't have to take big leaps to go from this benefit. So why is that important to you? How does that make you a better person? You can lead them a little bit, share a little information about yourself. Even if you make it up, it's okay, as long as it's, nothing important or risque or anything like that. But just get them to be comfortable and talk. And then later on, when you listen to the recording, all the things that you need will pop up. And I think I said earlier in another video, when you ask people about examples or time that happened or what would happen, you get some really good ideas in general about, oh, this would make a great commercial. This would make a great copy for an ad. This would be a good situation, or a good event to go to do event marketing. So that you get a lot of rich stuff because they're describing their experiences in real life. And so active listening, examples, what would you do if you couldn't? All right, all those things are just ways to get people to open up. And again, active listening, you can't see my face, luckily for you, but nodding, using your hands, staying open with your hands, not folding your arms, being inviting. It's like you're interviewing them. Show interest in them. They're doing you a favor. So hopefully that helps a little bit for laddering. It's not easy, but you're picking people who are fanatics. Hopefully you're picking people that to some degree of your students, so they can relate. Why do they like Chick-fil-A so much? What's your favorite thing about Chick-fil-A? Oh, I love the nuggets. Okay, what about the nuggets makes them so great? Well, they just taste so good. And how do they compare to other brands? Well, other ones are too greasy. There's not enough meat. The meat in there feels like it's real chicken. And some of the other ones, actually the cheap ones like McDonald's and Burger King and wherever you go, you don't even know what kind of that meat is. Okay, so that's important, right? Yeah, it is important, all right? So it's okay to say important every once in a while, and not why. So what benefit, do you get from eating those nuggets instead of McDonald's nuggets? Well, they definitely taste better, and they're definitely more nutritious. I'm an athlete, and even though this is fast food, it's important what I put into my body, and so I want to, eat food that is good in terms of protein and not having too much fat, etc., etc. You get the idea. So good luck. If you have any questions or problems, let me know. This is not an easy assignment. Typically in class, if we're on ground, we would talk about this more. If you want to do a Zoom meeting, we can arrange that. Not a Zoom, but now Microsoft Teams. Let me know. All right. Otherwise, good luck. I'm looking forward to your presentations. Again, a lot of the benefit of doing this is going through the process of laddering to see that it's difficult, but also that, hey, just like when you told me about something that is important to you, these things are important to people. And the more you can uncover those and find those out, the more you can make more effective marketing, add more of the features and benefits that they want, so they're happier. You sell more. You build a relationship with them over time between your customers and your brand. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.